What a mess do we have here? My brother dragged home this rusty, crusty 36-inch griddle from Royal Gourmet, and I don't think it's hyperbole when I say this has been neglected. So we're going to attempt to fix this up for him. Neither of us have ever done anything like this before, but we're going to put our heads together and see if we can't restore this bad boy. So this video is a bit of a documentary on how we did that. Let's get going. So the first thing that we did was we grabbed a shop vac and a little scraper tool here, and you actually see that kind of stuff rolling up that isn't the crusties. I believe that's actually the old seasoning. So clearly the water was not here, it was down on the other side, because there's still seasoning there. I don't know. So anyway, we just keep going through here and chipping up what we can and getting just kind of the initial cleanup. See, I'm pretty sure that's seasoning right there. And, you know, I'm sure this is a two-man job right here, but, you know, buddy system always works. After we made it through the whole flat top, we just kind of do a little final inspection here, and I run my scraper over the entire area looking for any flakes that I might have missed, and this went pretty well. Now it's time to think what's next. I think we gotta cheek poker it.
Needle gun? Or grinder?
Grinder. Wire wheel.
Oh, wire wheel?
Wire wheel or...
Well, I actually have a few different options of stuff we can put on.
Okay. This is going to be...
We can do wire wheel or a Scotch Brite pad on a grinder.
This is really the only bad spot.
A couple little ones.
Yeah.
As far as pitting, you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Let's go grab my options.
Okay. Sounds good. This is that area I was just talking about. It's got heavy pitting in it, and I'm just not really sure how this is going to turn out. I don't know how the quality of the cooking is going to be, but we're here and we're going to do it, and, you know, for a free griddle, might work just fine. We're going to find out. It's just, you know, kind of looks like the Titanic. So we went with the Scotch Brite pad, and I was honestly skeptical that was the right move, but I gotta hand it to Andy. That thing is doing a good job. So I had him send me the link to where he got that. I will put it in the description if anybody is interested. This made quick work of what we were trying to do. So very cool. And you can see it's actually getting the sides, and just wonderful job. And I heard some thunder in the distance, so I did my due diligence and shoot it away. Let's see how well that works. And yeah, he just keeps going at it like this, and look at that, bare metal. Shined up pretty good. We're only a half an hour into this at that point, and yeah, bare metal and rain do not mix so well, so we might have to figure that out. Oops. So yeah, big fan of that tool. And he's just going to give it another once over here, and he kind of turned his tool at an angle, and he's trying to get into the bottom of some of that pitting. Just nice and clean. And well, let's take a look here. Let's see what we have done. Very nice. The obviously the circular tool was not getting into the corners too well, so we're gonna have to address that. And this next step, we decided that the right thing to do, because of this pitting, was maybe try to alleviate the severity of it. Well, it looks way better. So we decided to hit it with a palm sander, and we're just using 220 grit. Nothing drastic. We don't want to make scratches. And if you guys can hear that, what Andy was looking up at was this flock of helicopters. I guess they're military. Not real sure what's going on here, but it was kind of neat, kind of eerie at the same time, if I'm honest with you. But you know, it's not often you're recording a YouTube video and something flies overhead. You go ahead and capture that footage, but perhaps I should get back to work. So I just grab a sheet of 220 and I start working on the corners where the circular sander does not reach.
Think I should go for a higher grit in some of these areas, or we're never gonna get that out. Yeah. About this or now?
Rinse it.
Yep. Paper towels and some water.
Yeah, you got any Dawn?
Yep.
Alright, so we're going to just wash it and rinse it real quick with a mild detergent. We're using Dawn today. And just in case any of our tooling left any, I don't know, adhesives or something behind, we want to make sure to clean it real good. And this step is also important. So this steel is actually porous, believe it or not, and can retain some water, especially after it had already rusted and it's pitted. So we're going to put it through a heat cycle real quick, and we're going to get it all the way hot so that no water can possibly still be absorbed in it. And we're just running all of the burners on high heat. And for a brief moment in time, we had wondered if we wasted our time. We didn't check to see if the burners worked before we put all that work in, but we lucked out. So we're using this Blackstone Griddle seasoning stuff. It's got a couple different things in it, and the directions are pretty simple. So we're just putting a few dollops on and letting it melt. And this actually smelled really good and kind of made us hungry. So I put some spoonfuls on. It said 3 for a 36-inch griddle. And now Andy's just taking his flipper, spatula, burger thing, paddle, shovel. No, I'll stop. Yeah, and you can kind of see it's already turning a dark color. This was very smoky. Fortunately, we had a nice breeze, so it was easy to stand upwind from it. And kind of from my experience with my cast iron, I know too well to not put a too thick of a layer on, so I threw down a paper towel. And he's not mopping it up per se, he's just making sure he has a nice light coat on there. And what we do here, we wait. We wait for it to stop smoking. Once it's done smoking, it's time for a second coat. This is currently sped up to 3x time. So right about there, look at that. Not very time consuming. This is working well. I'm very pleased. But one of the things we are about to find out is, can you see where the hot spot is? The entire front for maybe 4 to 5 inches just isn't caramelizing. That's not the right word. Whatever the word is for burning that isn't burning. Yeah, I know there's a word for that. Drop that in the comments below if you know what I'm trying to say here. So after 2 times, I let it cool down a little more. And I realized the outside was kind of sticky, and the black side in the middle was nice and smooth. So right here, you see that weird caramel color? It's not done seasoning yet. So we're gonna pick it up and flip it around. Right like so. Ah, yes. The old dipsy-do flipperoo. Nice. And then here in a minute, we're gonna cheat it forward a little bit. Yep, not quite yet. We'll get there. Be very careful if you are following along with this. That thick steel really holds its heat. And, well, listen, just be careful, folks. And that's good advice. There we go. Gonna cheat it forward a little bit. And, watch what happens next. So I'm gonna go ahead and light it here. And turn all the burners to high. And we're not even putting more product on it. Look what happened. It finished seasoning. And so now that we kind of realize that there is a flaw in this process, we're only going to put a little bit on at a time. And we still have the flat top cheated forward a little bit. So we're just going to do the side that gets hot. We're not going to waste our time in propane and Blackstone griddle seasoning. And look what's about to happen. This is about to get beautiful. Told you. And Diesel's very interested in what's going on. He's being our little assistant. So now that we got the corners kind of done, we're just going to do about 2/3 of the part where the burners are. And so far, I have to be honest with you, at this point in time, I was very impressed. I didn't know what to expect, but I was not expecting this success this soon. Here I'm also getting the sides. It's important to remember, if you're using this as a tutorial, that anytime you take steel, iron, metal down to its bare form, it needs to be reprotected. So we're going to address that here in a little bit, so make sure you stay tuned. And one more dose of the dipsy-do flipperoo. And kind of got it stuck in the holes there a little bit, so we're gonna light it up and see how the sides just aren't quite even yet. We're getting there. So we're just gonna do the corners now that we've figured out the cheating it forward kind of trick. I believe that's patent pending. And we'll go ahead and just always making sure we're doing this in light coats. Don't want to get it too thick, which then it's sticky and goopy and doesn't work and doesn't serve protection and becomes a part of your meal, and listen, nobody wants that. So what we did to kind of help finish out the corners here is Andy went up to the garage and got his blowtorch. And I got a clip in here somewhere. Watch how effective this is. This is so neat. Look at that. Watch how fast this happens. Now, this is still sped up to 3x, but when you realize that it happens pretty fast in 3X. It happened really fast in real life too. Look at that. Pretty impressive. Now you do have to understand the rest of the griddle is already preheated by the burners, and this is just kind of picking it up a little bit and carrying it across the finish line. But I'm a big fan of this method. It works. And you know, for a free griddle, looks pretty good. Gotta admit. Yeah. Yeah. Just a little reminder of where we came from. Whoa. Yikes. And, yeah. Not too bad. Looks very good. Yeah, it's not perfect. But for $0.00, I think Andy and his wife will have a wonderful skillet griddle outside thing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, like and subscribe. I'll see you next week, and until then, be well. Pulling these, buddy.
Alrighty.
These aren't quite there yet. These two are.